Okay, guys. So as I mentioned earlier, um, there the way we're going to be approaching Patrick in comparison to the way that we're approaching the tree. Oh, sorry, the tree's over here. Are going to be similar in that we're going to be following the same drawing skills we've learned so far, but because they look so different, because there are so many different things about them, um, we have to start thinking about it in a different way as well. Okay, the number one biggest thing that's different is Patrick, right over on this side. Patrick has more simple shapes than this tree on this side, right? So because of that, you can't make as many mistakes. All right, just to put a blanket statement out there: simple shapes equals more accurate proportions. All right, abstract shapes like you see on this tree require more or are more forgiving if you do make those mistakes. Okay, if you look at this example here from last week where I had these abstract shapes, right, and these abstract shapes didn't necessarily match the exact image over here. Oh, sorry, over here. Getting used to this though, right? It doesn't match it exactly. So, but somehow it still looks like a tree, right? Now I'm going to show you an example of Patrick that doesn't follow the proportions. And this is a bit of an extreme example, but you'll see what I'm talking about, right? So this is, oh, the light. There you go. This is my drawing of Patrick. The shapes are technically very similar, right? You have these triangle-like hands. You have these rounded eyes, this like triangle mouth. All of those things are correct. However, nothing is in proportion. You can kind of tell that it's Patrick because I have the picture up for you. But if you were to show this picture to someone and you ask them, hey, how's my drawing of Patrick? They might laugh, right? And be like, all right, that's not Patrick, right? There are very obvious things that make it different, right? And it's much more obvious to see in comparison, all right? Another thing that we need to pay attention to is look at the amount of detail that I put into each of these, into this tree, okay? These details were necessary in order to communicate that it was a tree, okay? However, this drawing of Patrick and even the reference picture of Patrick that I have on the computer screen, right, you can tell that there are a lot fewer details to work with, okay? So if there's less on the paper, there's actually more of a chance that those mistakes will be obvious, right? Because it's like trying to find one needle in a haystack versus trying to find like a marble in a bucket of water, right? There's not much to see in a bucket of water, so it's really easy to find that marble. However, if you're trying to find a needle in a haystack, there's just so much in there, right, that looks similar to an extent that it's going to be impossible to find that needle, right? So those are the two main principles that we need to be talking about: simple shapes versus abstract shapes, and how closely those have to follow the rules of proportion, and a lot of details versus a few details, how that also affects how accurate we are as well.